Most people think that writing a kid's book takes months, but the truth is, it doesn't have to. It takes a lot less than you think because so many people they start and all of a sudden they just start freezing based on all the different rules that they create for themselves. So in this video, I'm going to break down with you step by step from beginning to end in terms of what it is that you need to do to create your book, like I did with this one on Amazon. And I'm telling you, by the end of this video, you're gonna know how to do everything from beginning to end. And I include my mistakes in this video, so you're really gonna see behind the scenes everything that's going to happen. Make sure to watch this on 2x and make sure to look down in the show notes if there's specific parts of creating the book that you have. And in the description, I'm gonna break down to you where it is that you can jump to. This is a very long video, but I wanted to show everybody from beginning to end. So if you are really considering writing a book, you can just watch this video and know what it is you want to do. Hope you enjoy. And if you have any questions, make sure to put them down in the chat. We'll be happy to jump in and help you out. Okay, so to start, I want to just share with you how I think about making my book in 5 steps. And feel free to skip to anyone that you want throughout the process. You can look down in the comments below to see where it is that you want to be going. So the first place that we want to start with is just the ideas. Okay, we want to have an idea of the actual book, the storyline, and just make sure that we know where we're going. Because if we don't have an end goal, then we're not going to be able to really get there. So the first part's going to be storyline. The second thing that we want to start to do is we're going to be able to make the prompts. Okay, the prompts are going to be really, really important, and we have to go through them just a little bit, and we have to set ourselves up. So even in this stage, we're actually going to start to create some of the characters. We're going to understand where it is that we're going to do, what type of book we're going to be making, because that's going to be really helpful for when we get to the prompts. All we have to do is just copy and paste the prompts from there, and we have to start to recreate them every single time. Okay, the third one is going to be the actual book creation. So we're going to be making the actual text. We're going to be using AI. We're going to be helping ourselves and utilizing the tools that we want in order to be able to do that. Then number 4 is going to be formatting the book. So once we have all of our pages, we're going to be able to format them into the right size. We're going to be putting them into the right place. And then the last but not least is going to be uploading it onto KDP. Okay, so this is just the overall way we're going to be creating this book, and we're going to be creating this book from scratch. This is really, really exciting because I don't know if I've ever done this before, like a whole full tutorial, and we'll see how long it takes. But at the end of the day, I think this is really beneficial. Some of the time, the repetitive stuff we're just going to fast forward through, but I'll put a time clock in terms of how long I think it's going to take. Okay, I'm actually going to put my timer on, and we're going to start timing how long this is going to take when it comes to creating our book. Okay, so to begin, let's just start with the storyline, okay? And there's 3 different documents we're going to be using throughout this whole process. So number 1 is there's going to be this KDP upload checklist. Okay, you're going to get access to this down below in the freebies folder. And the basic idea is like any question that KDP is going to need to ask you. KDP is the Amazon website. You're going to just, if you have to fill this out, you don't have to fill this out just yet because you don't necessarily have all the information yet, but there is some stuff that is really important for now. So one of the biggest things you need to know, especially when it comes to creating the actual pages, is going to be the size of the book that you want. So just start thinking about that, because in step 2, we're going to have to come up with that. And depending on whether you're using a paperback or a hardcover, you have different sizes. And depending on using black and white or not, you have different sizes as well. So just understand that when it comes to the trim size over here is referring to the size of the actual book. If you're not sure what size book you want, so all you have to do is just go to like your kid's bookshelf, pick out some books, look at the sizes and see which ones you like, and you can start to do it like that. If you don't have a specific size on Amazon, it could be that Amazon's just not going to be able to make those. If you think about it, Amazon as a company, they want to try to make it as seamless as possible. So if they have like a random size that somebody might want for a book, but it's just not worth it for them, they're probably not going to have it. So just understand that you might have to work within within their guidelines when it comes to that. Okay, another cool document we're going to have is the character sheet prompt kit. So this is an actual prompt where we're going to make sure we have character consistency, which is really, really beneficial. So we're going to be able to go through that as well. I'll go through that when time is necessary. Hey, real quick, if you didn't know, we have a community of over 100 people who are looking to create their own children's book. So if you have any questions, you're not really sure what to do, you're not sure what order, the formatting, the Amazon, anything like that, we are here to help you. It's not just giving it to you, we are here to support. So if you have any questions, you put them in the community and we're going to be there for you. So if you want to take a look at that, make sure to take a look in the description down below. Now let's jump back to the video. But for now, the big thing that we're going to have is we're going to be having the free story prompt, and this is really going to help us create the story. So this is for somebody who doesn't necessarily know the story that they want to be writing. So they have an idea, they want to write a story, and this is one we're going to use right now. Okay. So I'm going to be copying this and I'm just be putting it into my AI. Okay. And we're going to fill it out here and there. Okay. So, like I said, this is for somebody who doesn't necessarily know what type of book. They just know they want to write a book. And so for me, I want to write a book for about a dinosaur going to his first day of school. And the reason I'm doing that is because my son is starting school, and I think it'd be cool if I could write him a book for him. I think that'd be really, really cool. So the main character is Rex. We're going to call him Rex. Oh, just kidding. The main guy is a dinosaur, and his name is Rex. Okay. The story is about a dinosaur and going to their first day of school. And the target age range is going to be little. So it's going to be, let's say he's 3. So we'll go 3 to 7. Usually you have it's like usually 4 to 7, but my son's 3, so we'll do that. Um, okay, great. And it's going to create, let's see what it creates. Okay. And one of the big things that we want to make sure that we have over here is that um, we want to make sure that it's not going to have AI slop. So we're going to go through this text actually a little bit more than maybe most people. Technically, you don't have to go through this. It's probably good enough. But then again, like if you want your book to be different than most other books that people are just throwing up online, so we're going to go through it. We're going to make it ours. Okay. Another thing that I actually noticed over here that in the prompt, it was a 20-page book. Okay. And what I want to do is I actually want to make it a little bit longer. So I'm going to say, hi, I want to make it a 40-page book. One one side should be text and the other should be a picture. Yeah, that's just a style that I like, but really you could do whatever you like. And if you want ideas, just go to your kid's book and do that. So it's going to recreate it for me. Okay. Let's just go back up and let's see what's going on over here in the beginning. Okay. So here we go. So recurring character, Rex is a friendly little green T-Rex, curious about everything, loves collecting interesting rocks, loves drawing dinosaurs, carries a bright red backpack everywhere, sometimes worries about little things. He's a tiny nervous tail wiggle when anxious, has a huge heart and always wants to be everyone to be happy. Amazing. Um, Emotional arc. These are definitely parts of the arc that we're gonna want. Picture, book, outline, description, text, meet Rex. Rex is a little dinosaur, big smile, but bigger imagination. Okay, this is already the book, so let's go down to the new prompt. Funny visual moments. Okay, great. Yeah, so we want it to be funny, we want it to be kid friendly, so we're gonna definitely want to have that over there. And then we're gonna have the final feeling. Okay, so let's just go through. We're gonna go through this, and what I'm going to do is actually I'm gonna copy and paste this, put this in another document because at the end of the day, I want to be able to edit it how I want to edit it. And this is like the fun stuff that everybody talks about. I definitely don't want lines and everything. Okay, here we go. And look, here we go. Okay, so now we're going through it line by line. I'm going to speed through this. I'm going to make some edits, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do after the edits. Okay, so this is actually really good. It's amazing that one of the ideas that I wanted to have that I didn't even tell it is this idea of being courageous. And even if you're nervous, it doesn't mean you can't still take action. And it actually talks about that in page like 18 or 19 over here. It's like you don't have to be fearless. You only have to be brave. I feel like that is the line that I want summed up in this whole book. Maybe we can use this line a little later, maybe on the back cover or something like that, as like a quote from the book, because I think that's really, really powerful when it comes to the book itself. But I really, really enjoy the book. And now let's go see what we can do with the AI. Okay, so now we're going to say over here, we want to create prompts for every single page because we want to be able to just throw that into ChatGPT. Can you help me create a prompt for each of the pages that I can use? I will also want to create. Okay, and sometimes the reason why you want a reference page is because if the images start to get a little mismatchy and they don't start to come out as well as they were in the beginning. So sometimes a reference picture can really help that. And I'm sure as we're doing it, it's going to happen. So we're going to go through that. Okay, great. So it says, for example, every page prompt should begin with the same style block over here. Okay. This is a book. Yeah, we're definitely going to do the master character sheet. Wait, look, it's literally giving us like advice on what to do. Um, sure, let's do it. Okay, here we go. We're just gonna we're literally just following the prompt and we're working with him. Here's how I build this. Okay, it's really just explaining what he's gonna look like, his clothing, expression, and favorite things. Great, and this is actually already going into the phase two of creating the book. So one of the things I do want to add over here. Second, what is the other thing about instead of aiming for a good AI, I should let in for both the looks. You should be a professional child's book artist. That means creating one master prompt page. The reference sheet for region, everything. I told you how they do that illustration prompt. When you feature the illustration page, when you problems in that. Yes, but the only thing is like, and this is why it's important, the size of the book. Let me get the size of the book because we're already in phase two right now. I want it to be hardcover, one premium color with white pages, and these are the sizes that you have. So I'm going to be doing a 7 by 10. So I just want to note that. Okay, seems good. Seems good. Can we make the book 7 by 10 inches? That please. So I would want you to create the text pages too. So let's keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. One of the things that I'm nervous about is that if I have a text, one master prompt that I'm putting in at the beginning, if the image starts to get a little not consistent as we move on, I'm nervous that it's going to ruin the book. So should I be using this master prompt once? And if it starts to move away from it, then I should open up a new chat and use the same master prompt? Or should I be putting this master prompt in every image that I'm looking to create also? And like this is something that like you just want to have this conversation with because I'm like, I don't know. Like sometimes what happens with me is like I'll use a master prompt, but then after like 15 images, it starts to like shift and go off of it. So even though it's a master prompt, it's really it ends up moving away. So Um, that's just something that I want to ask and make sure that it's happening. So it's probably the most important question they'll be asking their own project. See, isn't it so nice? Like tells you that like you're asking good questions. Whether it is or it's not, I don't know, but the robot knows how to make you feel good. It says use the master prompt in every single input, not just once, every single page. Here's why. Okay, I believe with that. Okay, will opening a new chat help? Yes, sometimes. Okay, okay, great. And instead of trying to rely on text or something, we're get a true character turnaround sheet for Rex. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Faux show. Okay. Okay, let's do it. I actually have a prompt for a character sheet that we're going to use for Rex himself. So I will put that in over here when we look to create him. But one of the things that you can help me with is instead of me needing to copy and paste the master prompt from a different area, if you can, when you make the prompts, include the master prompt. So I could just do one easy copy and paste. And what I mean by this is that sometimes they'll give you the master prompt, but then they'll give you all the individual prompts, and it's annoying to copy that and then copy that, and just like an extra step. So what I'm asking you to do is create the master prompt and the prompt itself in one piece, and just repeat that throughout the whole project. And that way, you'll be able to create the whole thing a lot easier. So let's go grab that character sheet over here. Okay, we're gonna copy this. We're gonna create Rex. If you're just reading properly, like people look at the production page package, by the end, you'll have flavor of our Bible craftsman. Okay, great. Yeah, there we go. Um, you don't need to repeat that part one. So it's gonna be a dinosaur. You know, I'm not even gonna put it in. This is what I want, and I want to see if it could create it for us. Yeah, look, it's already putting in all the details. So sometimes if you're creating it from scratch, that's fine, but we already started having this conversation with our AI, so it's been helping us. Okay. Signature outfit, none. If you want to change any of these things, feel free to do so. Um, do you want to purchase it before you begin to like sizes and this in every single job or extended yeah, like that. The word Bible, the create section things there, so not to worry, something, no scary teeth, no clothes, all right, people. Okay, I like that, just so it doesn't scare any kids. My big recommendation, I think we should make a recommendation on that. Probably the one that's finally been done. Okay, let's go with it. Okay, great. Great. Where do we start? And this is all like these are all questions that you might not know that an illustrator or a publisher is going through. So I think that's really, really important when it comes to this. Like there's only stuff we know that we know, and we can always ask it saying, hey, what should we be doing in these specific situations? Okay. Okay, just going through all the different pages, so the steps. So this is I'd like to be your art director for this project. Okay, so pretty much he's saying that he wants to be the art director, which means he just wants to go through it and make sure that it's actually having that consistency. Now let's just start. Let's start. Start by creating Rex's character sheet. Character sheet. Can you give me a prompt I can use to? Oh, I don't even. You create it already, so I can see if I like it. All right, let's see what it says. Okay, here we go. We got Rex. Uh, all the different expressions, action poses, Lucky Rock. Great, has a color palette. This is amazing. Look at this. I don't necessarily like the heart on him, as cute as that is. So I'm going to ask them to take off the heart. Uh, here we go. Okay, we the heart. Yeah. Okay. Well, like, look at this. This is incredible. Like, it literally goes through all the different parts of his red backpack. Lucky Rocket's drawing. And this is going to help us do the consistency because when AI picks up the image that we're looking to create, it's just going to take it from here as opposed to taking it from its own imagination. So we're already giving it reference images. And that's the main thing that we want to start to do when it comes to the book that we are looking to create. Okay, great. Really, really good. And if you see, Rec has a specific type of look to him. If you want a different style character, so maybe you want like a watercolor character, maybe you want a more animated character, whatever it might be, like you could let it know. And if you're not sure, take a screenshot of a specific character that you like or a style that you like. You can put into here and just say, hey, what is this style? Because I want to make a book and I want to use this specific style also. So just understand that you can do that as well. Okay, I will do the next step. It's going to be creating the prompts. Let's see if it has any more things that it wants us to do. Okay. It wants to get more specific, which is great at the end of the day. But I'm going to tell it, I appreciate I appreciate the detail that you want. At the end of the day, I don't want to lose steam and then not create the book. So as much as I want to do all these things, if we can try to combine some of them, that would be a lot better. Just because I just want to make sure I actually write this book. Not necessarily that I'm going to write it once in one sitting, but I do want to be able to make sure that I do it. So the more steps we add, the longer it might take, and then I might not be motivated to write it, or it might just take me a lot longer. So what are the next steps? I would think if we just create the prompts right now for the actual book, I went through the story that you created and I really enjoyed it. I think that would be beneficial. Let me know if there's anything before that that you would like me to go through. And I just want to be realistic with this. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, if we're trying to get a book out and we're already having a hard time, that we're already having a hard time, and that could be I don't want to lose steam. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I sat down, I have a certain amount of time right now to be able to work on it, and everyone's busy. So at the end of the day, like if there are other extra steps, maybe I will do it, But right now they would really want to make sure that we're doing it. Okay, we'll create the entire book package together. That means we'll work through all 20 spreads. And then for each spread, I'll give you a little left page final story text layout suggestions, right? Okay. Okay, now we're just going to go through it with everything embedded. There's another advantage. Okay, just telling us how it's working. And I think it's right there. Like, let's do one about the illustration style, not the character, the style. Right now, we're describing very well. That's good. Okay, I have to fix that. So I actually do not want it to be a watercolor. I want it to be an animated type looking book. So let's come up. If you can create an image for me, it doesn't have to be with Rex, but it could be with Rex, just of what that would look like. That would be beneficial, just so I can say, hey, I really like this or I don't like this, and we're going to try to do something else. Perfect. I love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. Okay, great. I really, really like this. I love the color. I love the texture of the characters. Really, really good stuff. So let's go along and let's use this style. And then even with the text, it should be a more engaging style as opposed to just a boring text also. Let me know what other questions you might have, and then we can start to create and finalize the prompts so you can start creating the book. Period. Understand also that throughout the book, I'm sure there might be pages that I won't be thrilled with. So I might just ask you to recreate some of the images, or if I think it's too short at the end, we might have to create some more. So just keep that in mind, please, throughout the process. Okay, great. This is a book sign projection plan. I love it. I love the fact that it's using it, and it's going to be a reference, and it's going to be able to give us when we create the actual book. So this is really, really great. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so it's like, let's get to page 12. Let's do a bunch of them, see how it goes. If we like it, great. If we don't like it, we don't have to do the whole thing because at the end of the day, we need to do one image at a time anyway. So if we start to see a theme that we do or don't like, we'll just split it and finish it out on the end of the other end. Okay, I have a comment about this. Okay, I have an answer for that. No, I do not like that. Okay, regarding number one, I like Rex's very first big first day, but I'm assuming we'll need a school image on the cover because I want to make sure that people understand that it's the first day of school. So if we're not using school in the name, then we're going to need to at least have it as a visual on the cover. Rex's first day of school just seems a little boring to me. Um, And if we use Rex's brave first day, also it needs to have an image of a school. But if that's the case, then just use Rex's very big first day. Mom and dad should be dinosaurs. The whole family, they pop up, should be dinosaurs. The teacher should be Mrs. Owl. I like that. Classmates, will keep them a variety, which is great. The school, Sunshine School, sure, that's fine. I do not want to add I Spy moments throughout. I think that's a different type of book. That I just want this to be a kid's book that a parent could read to a child. Okay, let's start working on the first five spreads. Okay, so we have a spread, we have the text on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, we have the actual picture of Rex. Beautiful. Okay, this is just like a sheet that shows going to show you what it's going to look like. And this is the actual list, the prompt that we're going to be using and whatnot, but I think it looks good. Okay, this is great. I really do like it. I do also want to put out there that I would like to make sure that the book is going to be funny, that kids are going to laugh. All these scenes so far seem to be very consistent in terms of like there's no excitement, I would say. And I think when it comes to a kids book, we need that excitement in the beginning, especially. So just like in a musical song, there's like the ups and the downs, and that's going to allow the song to be beautiful and feel connected to it. I think also with us, if we have the book have more of an emotion, I think that could be beneficial. And I think through the imagery, I think we can do that. So let's just keep that. It could be different scenes. It seems like most of these themes or scenes are in the house, except for the first one. Um, and they just seem a little boring, if that makes sense. So let's just make sure whether it's the visuals around Rex while he's doing what he's doing, that makes it funny, or if it's just other things that are going on, just to keep that in mind. And this is just something that I noticed just looking at the pictures, because if you look at it, it's also it's very flat. You know what I mean? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but um, I want there to be like some excitement through the book, because I know with my kids, it's like when they're reading a book, it's like, oh, that's hilarious. And even if the next like two pages are not hilarious, they're still thinking about like the funny page. So just keeping that in mind when it comes to the book, I think that'll be beneficial. Um, right? But it's a little too flat. It's telling a story, but it isn't performing the story. I love that, right? It's telling the story, but it's not performing the story. Um, okay, great. Exactly. There we go. There we go. If a child couldn't read yet, would they still enjoy reading it? Exactly. I love that. Okay, that is accurate. If a child couldn't read it yet, would they still enjoy looking at the pages? Meaning, how many times does your kid take a book and they just want to look at the pages, right? I think that's something that we want to be able to do. I also I agree with that. Vary the camera angle. I think that could be beneficial. Um, love that. Amazing. Stop thinking of it. That's 20 movies. Okay, great. Great. There we create and pages with this in mind. All right, let's see what it comes up with now, just because I wanted to give it more of an energy. And like, this is a conversation you need to have, because most people who just use AI, it's just going to be flat. They're just going to create a book like that. And it'll probably be like a solid book. You know what I mean? But the difference is that we want it to be a memorable book, and we want the book to really make that impact. So if we have like these specific things that are going on, I think that will be really, really beneficial when it comes to the book that we're looking to make. There you go. Love that. Not just the picture, also it's the text. You see the text is a lot different. That's more exciting. It's just funnier. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just so much more going on here, and I think that's great. Um, amazing. Look at that. I love it. Really, really great. Okay. Okay, great. And we come up with yeah, amazing. Like you can't compare. Let's like look at this. Look how funny that is. Kids are gonna love that. Okay, jumping into the mud like before is just literally just a boring picture of him waving, and now it's like, hey, I'm Rex, like I'm like a real life kid. You know what I mean? I think that's a big difference over there. It just looks so much different. Good job, AI. All right, instead of writing 20 good prompts, I want to write 20 production quality project. But will be around Thursday. I really clear this out. Get a front cover. And I want to do the front cover afterwards. Chapter the five spreads. So I would like to do the front and back cover at the end, also the front matter and back matter at the end. Another thing that let's do, if we can create all 20 prompts, that would be great. And then we could create them in batches of five, because I want to make sure we have the consistency with the prompts, because if we have a longer conversation, we might gear off of that. So let's create all the prompts for the book, the illustrations and the text, and then create um, and then batch it that way. Also, I loved how in the last image, you created the text to be different sizes and colors and whatnot. I think that's really engaging also to the kids. So make sure to keep doing that with the text. Right, let's stop this guy. Stop. There you go. See, like literally we started to create an image, and I'm like, why are we creating an image? Let's stop it. Um, That's fine. Let's just work on creating it. I feel like we are delaying this process. Let's just move. If you can create all of them for me, that would be great. As well as I want the actual prompts that I will be copying and pasting. If you're telling me that this is it, then great. But I would like to create all 40 pages and all the prompts that I can copy and paste, including the main prompt we're going to be using, and making sure that it is attached to every single individual page. So it has that consistency. Okay. So it's saying that it's too long to do all pages. Okay. Okay, so let's just start. The main thing that I need right now is a prompt that I can copy and paste to create the text or to create the image. Great, this is exactly what I want. Okay, that's fine. But if you can make sure that the master prompt is connected with the illustration prompt and the text prompt, I don't want to have to keep posting, copying and pasting the master prompt every single time. You see how it just that keeps like delaying the work that we want to do? Like this is like the annoying part, I guess, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Okay. I don't know why you keep asking me about more ideas. Let's just keep continuing to create the book. Let's create all the prompts or as many as we can to start, and then we will talk about ideas afterwards. It is a robot at the end of the day. Can you give me the first batch, please? I would like to see it again. You can put it somewhere originally, so. Here we go. I just want to jump in here very, very quickly and talk about the book creation because in this part of the video, this is probably going to be the longest part of your whole process. But we have to realize that there are many different things that can go right and many different things that could go wrong. And I just want you to make sure that to look down in the description of this video because I broke it down into certain areas. So in the beginning, I'm just going to go pretty much fly through all the different things. I'm going to fast forward a lot on my screen just so you don't have to sit and wait for it. But then there are other areas that consistent problems that come up that happen to me in this video video. So I want you to be able to go there. So whether it's character consistency, whether it's adjusting the size of the image once you're completed with your images, let's say a scene isn't working, changing a single item in a scene. So in my specific case, I had a lamp that I needed to change because it was two different lamps in two different pictures when it should have been the same one. Or let's say there are certain items that are just facing the wrong way, because a lot of times AI picks up the way that the reader should be viewing it as opposed to what's happening in the actual picture. So I go through all of these different parts of the video. So make sure to take a look down in the description if you have specific questions in terms of what it is you're doing in terms of creating your images. But make sure that you watch this whole part. You could skip forward, definitely watch it on 2x. If there's something that pops out to you, make sure to ask a question down below or check out the community and you can ask your questions and be able to help you in hands-on on the project. Now let's just jump back in. All right, now let's get into creating the actual images for the book. And in the beginning, we're going to be a little bit more careful and we're just going to give a little bit more thought. And then as the pages go on, we're going to go a little bit quicker. So in this specific section of the video, I'm going to probably fast forward a bunch just because you don't have to wait while images are generating. It probably takes like 2 to 3 minutes per image. And if you have about 40 images, it take a while. So if there is anything in the middle that I think is important, I'll pause it and let you guys see what I'm doing. Otherwise, we're really just going to copy and paste. So for the beginning, let's start over here. Okay. Okay, then we're going to copy this just up to here. So we're going to say the page 2 to the end of page 2. When I copy this, we're going to go to Chat GPT. Oh, we actually are on chat. Should we use all right, let's just stay on the same chat. And then we are going to post it here. You create, can you generate this image? All right, here we go. See, it just thought I was putting the text back in, but sometimes you got to tell it what to do. Okay, amazing. I like this a lot. The only thing I would love is instead of to be a white background, I love it to have some type of texture to it. So let's tell it that. When creating the text pages, can we have some texture, the background, background. I don't want it to be white. Can you recreate all the prompts we've made so far? Back, background, background. Okay. So like that's part of it. It's like, hey, this looks really great, but I feel like there's something missing just because it's just a white page. So even if it was like something yellow, something dinosaur-y, that would look, I think that would be great. So here are the great abilities that no, these are all text pages. It's directly. Okay, available. Okay, do I need, okay, I have a question. Do I need to copy and paste the um yeah, this every time? Do the work every text. Okay, great. 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 Okay. All right. Okay. And I have now. All right, this is really just going back and forth. If you have a question, ask it. Like, I don't get why you're doing this. This doesn't really make sense to me. So that's what we got. Okay. Okay, even better. It's giving us like a text box that you can do. Okay, I'm gonna take this. There we go. Let's post it. Goes back. What the annoying part about this is that I have to keep scrolling back up and down, which is gonna be annoying, but we'll see. All right, this is page 2. Page 3, I'm gonna copy this over here. There we go. Okay, awesome. I love the background color. It just gives it more. You can just like compare the two. Like let's we click on this and then we just go to that. Like they're just a different. Okay, let's just make sure all the text is spelled right because that's a big deal. I mean, Rex is little turn with a big heart and an even bigger imagination and a talent for finding the muddiest puddles around. Splash. Amazing. Okay, great. Now let's get added this guy. And now let's post the next one. Okay, and while it's generating it, then we can start to do whatever we need to do. So for now, I'm going to download this file. And we're gonna do, let's open this guy. We'll do 2 text meet Rex. Okay, we want to keep it like that. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna add a new folder. We're gonna call this folder Rex's first day. Keep this guy open. And now what we can do is we can just drag and drop that. So it'll be a lot easier to do. Okay, now let's grab the next image, the next one, run page, or this guy, and just wait. Amazing. Look how realistic that looks. I love it. There's a butterfly, his knapsack. We're already like starting to learn who he is. Okay, great. And then we're gonna put this one in. We're gonna save this one. Sure. Because we're doing text and pictures, I think I want to note in the actual document whether it's a picture or a text, just so I know they should have picture, text, picture, text, picture, text, picture. Rex jumping in mud. Okay, and then get that. Like we're already starting to create our book there, and that. Okay, let's grab the next. There you go. Amazing. Love it. I'm so excited for my son to read this book. This is gonna be great. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna download this. I don't like asking to do one more than one thing at a time, just because I find that it ends up causing a lot more confusion and then delays. So I just like being patient, one thing at a time when it comes to this. Um, so for example, right now I need more prompts because I only have the first 4 prompts. So I could ask it, you might give me the prompts, but then it's gonna like just slow down and I don't know. I just find it's easier to focus on one thing at a time. But I could write it though. Can you please give me a set of prompts? That's cute. Give me your facts. Like you just want to make sure all the text is, yeah, you see how like that is not correct. So I would say here, let's edit this. You make the book a dino facts. Facts. Maybe because the AI is not so great with the text. So that's why you always have to worry about the text because that's the biggest thing. So if you two things that I noticed on this page, Dino facts over here looks weird, and then also the word roar. That doesn't really go on the side of a book. I mean, technically it can, but it just would look a lot cleaner if it didn't. So we'll see if it removes it. Otherwise, what I might do is I might just go through all the pictures and then I would come back to try to do the edits. So I don't want to lose steam because a lot of it's going to be momentum. So let's just push everything, understand, let's get momentum, and then we come back and make sure that it's good to go. We'll see if it was able to correct it on this one. Yeah, let's see what comes up with. Dino facts, that looks a lot better. Let's look at everything else. Yeah, good. I'll take it. Okay, there's always a little weird. There's a line through it, but okay, that could just be the font of the book. That's not too crazy over here. So that's great. Happy I caught that. Last thing you want is like to create a book and then all of a sudden um, everyone's calling you out because like, hey, the words are spelled weird. All right, pages 12. Are we up to page 12 already? I feel like we skipped. Uh, what about 6 to 11? Actually, could do page 11, pages 2 to 11. Okay. All right. So it shifted the numbers. So just make sure you're on top of it. There we go. Right now, let's save the image, the correct one. It's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, but now it just shifted it. That's supposed to be. All right, let's flip it for now. And it's going to be X. Okay, this one. When this one's ready. So it's just like those small things over here. So the word that over there. So if I wanted to, I could probably go on Canva, cover that letter A, put it back in, like the whole thing. But if I could get it over here, that'd be great. It's just annoying because I gotta wait more. One of the reasons why a lot of people like creating the text themselves is because of this issue that comes up with AI. So it could be that you just ask AI to create the background over here and you use the background, put it in Canva, and then use Canva, you type in the text yourselves so you have more control over it. So that's another strategy. We're gonna stick with this one for now. If I see that it's gonna get really tough, then I might switch over. But then again, I'm not the best expert on Canva, so making sure we have all the cool prompts and everything like that, all the different images, the colors, like I really like what it's doing. So I think that adds a lot to this kid's book. So we'll see. Yep. Then I tried really, really hard to fall asleep. Amazing. There you go. Let's get the next one. Great. was number 6, I think. The two things I noticed over here, the book is upside down, so I wanted to rotate, as well as this word roar is coming way too close to the end. And if I'm doing bleed on my book, which I would like to do, it might cause issues that KDP might not let it work because it notices that there's text over there. So I'm just trying to keep it within a little bit more of the boundary. This is like the frustrating part about AI. So it added back in this piece of glasses and it didn't do the book. Yeah, it's not working, so I'm going to download this one and I'm going to say we're going to need to edit it. We'll just work on the next image. So what I'm going to do is probably with the editing, I'll show you. I'm either going to create a whole new prompt and create a whole new picture if it's not picking it up, or I'm going to just do one at a time. I don't want to do it right now just because I want to keep moving with the actual text that I'm doing. But this is like the annoying part. How many times did we go through it? We had 1, 2, 3, 4. And sometimes the fact that I'm asking it multiple things at once is the issue. So it could be that I just go back to this one and just say, hey, do you mind moving the letters back? And then it does it. And then I go to the next image and I say, hey, do you mind just flipping this book over around? Something like this just annoys me. So it might not annoy somebody else, but it annoys me. So I'm going to try to flip that around. And if not, I might just come up with a whole nother scene of this roar. Okay, now we're ready to generate the next batches of prompts. The only thing is I noticed a few things that might become issues, so I want to tell it beforehand. So here we go. Hi, can we please Hi, can we please generate the next batches of prompts? The only things I want to keep in mind is number one, when you're creating an image in a school classroom, please make sure that the text is spelled correctly and the text is the normal text. There have been twice already that the letters have looked a little different. So I just want to make sure that's more accurate, period. And if you want to be on the safe side, just don't use a book or something that's going to have text on the top of it, period. Another thing I would like you to keep in mind is that if there is a book open in front of a child on a desk, that it's facing the child. There's been an instance where the book was the opposite way, even though it was facing me, the reader, it just doesn't look correct, the fact that it's not facing them. Also, if you can edit the images on your end to make sure that we're up to image number 16. So it's really just the numbers that are inaccurate. So while you are creating the next batch, if you could start with number 16 for the text, just because that's the numbers that I've been having on my end. So if you could just switch the numbers, that'd be great. Also, please keep in mind that we are going to be using bleed for this book, so any text should not be around the edges of the page so it doesn't get cut off. If you can please generate the next batch, that would be great. Thank you. So if you start to notice some issues that are coming up or that could come up, I would just tell it to it when you're creating the actual prompts. And this is actually really smart, the fact that it's giving them us giving the batches to us, to giving the prompts to us in batches, because that's going to be really, really beneficial to making sure that we can constantly be updating the book. Okay. Yeah. Right. And all it's doing is that it's making more rules for itself. So when it is generating the images, it knows in the background to do that. So that's exactly what we want. And every time you write a new book, you're going to have these rules. Maybe even at the end of this book, we'll ask it to come up with the general rules that we did. So if we want to make another book like this, or maybe we want to make a Rex, I don't know, Rex goes to camp or something like that, we'll already have our package of what we can give AI so that it knows already what it needs to be doing. So that'd actually be pretty smart at the end of the day. All right, now we have images 16 to, I'd like to keep the same structure, 21. Okay, so let's just start with the next ones. Okay, so this is something that comes up once you hit your image generation request. So it looks like we done a bunch. So we're gonna have to wait and we're gonna pause the video, come back around the next time. So this happens if you are on the free plan, it probably happens a lot sooner. If you are on the even on $20 plan, which this is, it is likely to happen. Okay, so we are back, and now it is been more than this time. It is nighttime the next day. So now let's just get back into generating the images. This is the fun part about creating the book. And I would say that this is the thing that takes the most time. It's really generating images because at the end of the day, you don't necessarily it just takes time. So um let's just refresh it here. How about now? There we go. We are back in action. And let's keep going. So one of the issues that keep popping up is that the pictures are just facing the wrong way. You can see they're facing us, the reader, but they're not facing the characters who are drawing them. So that's why I want to try to face it. So that's like one of the things you want to notice is just like the consistency of the characters. So the fact that he's like not wearing a sweatshirt and shorts here, that's that's fine, but we want to keep that consistency. Um, so just something we want to keep in mind. And now they have all of them consistent. Okay, maybe one of those issues. I'm just gonna do this. I'll fix it later. So one of the things that you can see earlier that happened is that the mother over here is not the same mother as over here. So what we did was is I just said, can you swap out the mom with this picture of this mom? So it just used it as a reference picture, and then it actually did a pretty good job with it. So that's just something that you could do. It's a nice trick. You could switch it out by giving it a reference picture. I think what I'm going to do, because I see the clothing is not consistent throughout the book, what I'm going to ask it to do is give me a prompt with a reference picture of what clothing to have, and then I'm going to post this picture and say, could you just reference this clothing and put it on Rex, and then it'll just have that consistency throughout. I think that's the easiest way to do it. So we'll get there when we get there. It seems like there are some images missing from the beginning. I'm going to give you the ideas that we came up with originally. If you could help me create prompts for these images, and I'll create them now, please. I think it's important also because these pages are going to be really giving you an idea of who Rex is. So I think that's important. This is the fun part where we need to now start editing images back and forth. I'll have to go through and see which ones we want. This is the fun part, everybody. This is why most people don't do it. So pretty much what I'm doing now is because I ended up making pictures after the fact. What I want to do is I'm making a final folder where I'm going to bring all my final pictures in with the exact numbers because now I got to go back through all of these and fix the numbers and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to do that and then bring everything back in, and then I'm going to do all the edits that I need to. Okay, here we go. So now one of the main issues I have with the pictures is that Rex's clothing is inconsistent in school. So first day of school, he's not wearing clothing. And then later on, he's wearing a red and blue thing, and then he's wearing blue and yellow. So I want to be able to get the consistency of his clothing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak to AI and let it know that. Hi, the pictures look really great. One of the issues that I see happening is that Rex is inconsistent with the clothing that he is wearing throughout a bunch of the pictures. Are you able to come up with a reference image for me of Rex wearing a certain type of clothing? And then we'll just be consistent with that clothing throughout the pictures, period. My idea is that I want to attach the image that is incorrect, and I want to add the reference image with that in the next chat just to swap out Rex in that clothing. Period. I don't want to change anything else in the picture. I don't want to change the size of the picture, or I want to keep everything the same. I just want to switch Rex out with wearing clothing in whatever position he is in the picture. Period. Can you help me create a reference image for him and then a prompt that I can use when I am editing all the new pictures with that reference image? I'm going to attach an image of Rex, and we can use this clothing type as the reference image. So there was one image that I did like. That I would like to use. I like this sweatshirt and shorts. So let's use this and see what comes up with. And really, the basic idea is that I have an issue that Rex looks different in all the pictures. So I want to go through all those pictures that he looks different in and put in the new reference image. If it was a new day, I wouldn't really care. Some images are in the house versus in school. I don't really care. But once he's in school, I'm assuming he's not changing. So therefore, I want to be able to have that reference image for AI, and then I want to be able to create that prompt that I can use moving forward when it comes to creating the correct character. And once again, this is one of those things that make the difference between an AI slot book versus not an AI slot book. If you're going to take the time, it does take time. That's what it is. But at the end of the day, we can try to do as much as we can to avoid it, but then we could just fix it. And if it's not working, then we'll just generate new images. That's usually the last resort, though. Okay, amazing. So here we go. Rex is wearing this clothing. Looks a little chubby in this picture, but I think that's fine. And this is what we want to do. Okay, so now I'm going to ask it, can you please come up with a prompt that I can use? The prompt should include the character reference with Rex's clothing, as well as the picture that I want to adjust. So just have that reference. It could be the same prompt. I just want to make sure that nothing else changes in the photo, including the size of the picture. And one of the greatest ways that you can get the correct prompt when you're trying to edit something is ask it to come up with a prompt, because sometimes the issue is that the way that we explain something is going to be very different to how it is going to be translated by AI. So if you ask it to create it, then you'll be able to come up with it. Okay, here we go. You're editing image 2. Image 1 is the official Rex character reference sheet and has the absolute source of truth. Your job is to replace only Rex. Okay. Like if I would just say swap him out, it might work, but this is being so much more specific. Okay. Full character sheet you generated as a reference is excellent for creating new images, but for editing, it gives a model a lot of extra information. Instead, I'd create a simple clothing sheet that contains only. So what it was just telling me is that by it giving us this whole sheet, this reference sheet, and the different faces and expressions, it actually might change the expressions because it might pull up a different expression. So what it wants to do is it just wants to give us one sheet, I guess a more simpler sheet, just so we can swap it out. So I'm going to copy this, put it in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to add both of these. So I'm going to add this first. I'll play around. If this works, great. And if it doesn't work, we'll figure it out. And now let's start switching pictures. Not that one. We can start with this one. You know, let's do with this. So the original image had Rex not wearing any clothing. Now let's see what happens. There we go. Awesome. Okay, this image I still need to adjust the size of it, but we'll do that afterwards. Love it. Also, something you want to make sure, look at all the other characters, make sure nothing else is wrong. Sometimes like add an ear to a character or a hand or something. Um, so just a good habit to get into. I've had that many a times. Can you please give me a prompt? One of the images I generated is the wrong size. So I want to use the same exact image, but I want it to be the proper size that we've been using for this book. So if you could give me a prompt that includes that one image and the correct size, that would be great. Can you help me recreate the roar scene that Rex has as a dream when he's thinking about school the day before? Period. Rex is nervous that he might roar in class. And the current photo that we generated has a bunch of issues, so I'd like to just redo the whole thing. So can you give me a new prompt? Also, let's make sure that he's wearing the appropriate clothing and the size of the book is the same and whatnot. So one of the things I don't like the purple around it. I don't think that's part of like the consistency of the book that we've been having. So I want to switch that up, but let me just double check beforehand. I noticed that the clouds and stars that are around the frame of the picture are not consistent with the rest of the book. Period. How is it there a way to create a prompt that we regenerate just that outside that has a more consistent feel to it? I think even if it's just in a dream bubble, that would be beneficial. But this texture and coloring doesn't go with the rest of the book. Can you help me create a new prompt that I can use to regenerate this image?
I still don't like the consistency. I'm going to give you another image to show you what I'm referring to of how I would want the bubble to look like. If we can use this style and just change that image to the roar in the middle of the classroom.
Right, let's try this again. This one's not as bad. See how much it bugs me.
There is an inconsistency in the night lamp that is next to Rex's bed. I am going to give you one of the images, and that is the one we are going to use. If you can create a reference image of just the night light, and we'll switch it out with the other picture that I'm not going to give you now. So we can then create a prompt to switch it out easy. That would be great. Period. So please just make a reference image of this light. And once again, if you're trying to switch something out, make a reference image and then push it in. It's going to be a lot easier than going back and forth. Um, Can you help me create a prompt using the lamp reference image as well as the bedroom scene that I'm going to post, and just have it switch the lamp and nothing else in the image, period. And the image should be the same exact size as well. That's actually pretty cute.
that's cute. I didn't even I didn't even notice there was a dinosaur on the bottom of it. I'll keep it. I like it. So even though it added these bubbles, I actually like it. Has consistency with the front end of the book. And yeah, it looks good.
Okay, so in this image, the issue is that the pictures are not facing each of the characters who are coloring, period. I need to create a prompt that rotates all of the images around, period. If you want to give me a whole new prompt for the picture in general, that's fine too, even if it's a different angle, etc. If that's the case, I do want to make sure that Rex is wearing the appropriate clothing that he's supposed to be wearing and that the images are facing them, period. If it's easier, we can also try to do a different scene with the same idea. So there's no issues if that's going to be too difficult.
Right, let's see if we get this final image. Then we have to work on the front cover, the back cover, as well as the back matter and the front matter. Images are still going the wrong way. And it is what it is, but we gotta figure this out. So I figured if there's an easel, I don't think they'll turn the easel upside down. So the painting will be straight on the easel, and then they could also be painting. So that might be a great way to get around this issue. And just when you thought they couldn't mess it up, yeah, they messed it up. Wow, that's good. AI is so good at messing things up. Okay. Um,
Okay, so somehow it also got messed up. The easels of the three other characters are backwards. Let's come up with a new idea of an activity that they can be doing in class and not to do with painting or writing.
perfect. There we go. All right, let's go through the book. The Rex tracks a little dialogue in imagination. Okay, amazing. There we go.
I would like to create the front cover, the front matter, and the back cover. Can you please help me create that also and also the back matter, period. For the front matter, I'm thinking about having a cover page. The way that I want the cover page to be is just the title of the book. I want to have Rex's knapsack, just his knapsack lying on the floor. And then my pen name that I'm using for this book, which is Bennett West, period. I also want to have a copyright page. I will be using KDP ISBN. So I don't want to have a space for the ISBN there. And for the back matter, I want to have an about the author, and I'll give you a little bit of details about myself. So if you have any other ideas for the front and back matter, that would be great. Just let me know what we should add. And if you could come up with a cover page as well as a back cover, also, that would be great. I think one of the strong lines in the book, which maybe we should have somewhere on the back, is being brave means you go even when you're nervous. Or we could have something along those lines. So if you could please make this list for me, that would be great.
All right, here's the fun part. We are going to be creating the front and the back matter. So let's get into it. I have an idea about what I want. I just told it to AI, but we are going to see what it comes up with, see if it has any other good ideas for us. Okay, front cover.
Okay, we could do that final illustrated end paper. In regards to your ideas so far, when it comes to the front and the back covers, I want to really make sure that there's no text anywhere close to the edge of the book because I do not want to have issues with the bleed. So please make sure that is mentioned when we are creating the prompt. When it comes to the copyright, I would just leave out the word ISBN. I wouldn't even include it. When it comes to the dedication page, I want to write it like this. Regarding the about the author, I want to also include my school community where I help create authors as well. So I'm going to give you the link to that. You could do the remember page, that's fine. And also please remember on the back cover towards the bottom right, the barcode is going to go, so there should be nothing over there. Okay, great. Can you please create all the prompts for me? It didn't add any of the text. Can we please add the text?
Great. I'm a little nervous about the text, but we will find out. If it's going to be an issue, then we might just have to regenerate it and then have it push the text up and down. All right. All righty. Let's see what we got over here. So we have our cover page, which is this guy. I might have to move the text up depending on the KDP stuff, which we will figure out. Back cover. Love it. Okay, great. Oh, I caught something. She has three arms, and Barry has two. Let's see if that was on the initial. Yeah. We are not done yet. Okay, here we go again. Okay, so the issue that I was having is that the owl had three hands, one, two, and three. So I tried regenerating it. It wasn't working. So I ended up just removing her from the picture. And that's what we ended up doing. So if you're having too many issues with people, just get rid of them. All right. So we have our front cover, we have our back cover, and then we have our front matter. We have Rick's first day. I like this. This is cute. Copyright, dedication, about the author. Here we go. This, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this. Let's see if it fits or not. And then more adventures coming. That, and then we have the final folder of 40 pictures or so. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to sleep on this because I've been working on this for a while. This image generation took about, I think we're over 4 hours for the course of time. But now we have everything we need. We just need to format it, and then we need to just put it onto KDP. So I'm going to take a good night rest. Going to come back to the images, see if I want to change any more before I do the formatting, and then we're going to jump into the formatting and the uploading to KDP, and then we're going to get our book. All right. We'll see everybody on the next part of the video. Okay, so we are here on another day on our journey of finishing this book. So I was going through the pictures and I've noticed certain issues. So I want to fix those pictures first, and then we're going to go to the formatting and then uploading the book online. So over here, Rex's first day of school. That is some type of monster. Really fun stuff. We're going to edit that to make sure we could get a normal monster. So I'm going to say I in one of the pictures, Rex is holding a stuffed animal in his bed, and the stuffed animal has multiple heads and arms. Period. Can you help me create a prompt that I can use that will make him hold just the regular doll? Period. And in that prompt, I'll add the image as a reference that they should edit. So, like I said, I like better asking it to create a prompt for me because that way it's usually going to get it right. Otherwise, it might take me a couple more times. Can I just say, hey, could you fix a stuffed animal? Yeah, maybe. But sometimes when you have the sometimes when you have the prompt, it works. Okay, let me just tell. Don't have. I actually don't have an image of the stuffed dinosaur as a reference. Period. So we can either create that first, or you can just give me a prompt without that image. There we go. Rex's first day, but you just make sure to reread it. You give me a prompt to create a reference photo for a hoodie, and then I'm going to swap it out with this picture, please. I actually have a picture of a hoodie already, so I'm just going to ask it to look at that reference image to just take that image. So now what we're doing is we're taking that image, we're going to create a hoodie itself, and then we're going to say, hey, can you swap it out with this one, this bad one? And hopefully it'll just take it and swap it. Okay, now we have one reference picture of a hoodie. Can we swap this hoodie with the other image of the title page, please? Period. So can you create a prompt for me that creates that? Love it. Amazing. There might be more later, but for now, let's continue on. Okay, before we jump into the formatting, I just want to give you a heads up. The way that it happened in this video is I ended up formatting the whole book, and then KDP at the end told me that they needed me to reformat it. So I'm going to show you the way that I do it initially, but make sure you're watching the end of the video. You should see a timestamp in the description down below, because if you just watch the beginning part, you're probably going to get messed over. So make sure you watch the second part as well, because that's going to be the thing that's going to really help you. I didn't want to cut out this whole first part because I think it's really important as well. And I think most people need to know how to do this. But once it is that you go to the second part, you're going to understand what the issue really was. And it's honestly, it's a combination that does happen with KDP. And it really depends on the size of your book and how you end up formatting your stuff. So make sure to take a look at that. And now let's just jump back to the video. Okay, here we go. We are going to start formatting our book, and we are going to go to start. We're just going to go to Canva, and we're going to go to the top left, create up here. And then we're going to go to custom size. We're going to go 7 by 10. Oh, we got to switch this to inches first. We're going to go 7 by 10. And we're going to need some extra for the bleed, but we will add that in, create new design. And let's just add, ask it. I want to create a 7 by 10 book in KDP Amazon, and I want to know how much bigger the pages should be for the bleed. Okay, here we go. So with bleed 7.25 by 10 by 10.25. All right, let's edit this. We get out of the way. Let's just start a new one. 7.25 by 10.25. Create a new design. And this is it. And what we're going to do is we are going to start bringing in our pictures. And we're going to do that by going here. And we're going to start with the title page. We're going to drag it to the top till it clicks in. We're going to hold Command. And we're going to fit it in. Okay. And then voila. So we're just going to duplicate. Do the next one. Great. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to download this. And we're going to do PDF print. We're going to do flatten PDF. And I'm not. So right now, because we added the bleed already, I'm not going to add this button over here. If I didn't, meaning if I just did a regular 7 by 10 and then I was uploading it for bleed, then I would click that over here. But right now, we're not going to click that. We're just going to download it. And then once this downloads, we'll put it into here our final PDF. Let's look at it, and now it's all in one beautiful PDF, okay? And that's exactly what we want all of our documents in one PDF. We don't want the individual images. That is one document. We want the second document is going to be the cover page. So the way we're going to figure out how big the cover has to be is KDP actually gives us Amazon KDP calculator. There's a calculator that you can choose that's going to help you figure out what it is that you're doing. So we're going to do paperback, interior. We're going to do premium color. Let's see if we can do that. Reading directions left to right. Measurement's going to be in inches. Interior trim's going to be 7 by 10. Page count's going to be 46. Calculate dimensions. And then all we need are these two numbers, this one and this one, 10.25. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to Canva. We're going to do that by 10.25. We're going to create this size. And this is right now going to be our cover. It's going to be the front and the back of the cover. So now let's bring in our front and cover pages. That's going to go on this side. And then we'll do the back. It's going to go on this side. It does make sense that there's going to be a space. It just looks like the space is not so centered. So what we're going to do, this is a cool trick that KDP allows you to do, is you're going to download the template. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to open up the template and we're going to check it out here. And this is going to be the size of our book. So we're going to go back to KDP. Let's get rid of these for a second. And we're going to take this, put it over here. And this should match up exactly to our book. We want one picture over here, the front and the back over here. So let's do that now. See if those uploaded. Oh, there we go. Outside the red, it's going to be cut. Okay, my book's going to be too small for a spine. Okay, but there we go. We have it. We do not want any white in the middle over here. Which one this is? So we definitely want them touching. And then we also want to look like they're different heights. Yeah, Rex is not up. Going around all the edges. Okay, great. So we have the front and the back. The barcode's going to go like over the feet over here, but all the words are covered. We're going to see. Should be good to go. Okay, so now we're going to do this. We're going to download this PDF print, slide in. It's going to be the full book pages. Drop it over here. This is going to be back there. Leave it. Leave it. Okay, so that's what we got. We got our front and our back cover. Put that in over there. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go to our handy dandy KDP checklist over here. Okay, and we're just going to fill this out. And some of this information is going to be very useful for us. Okay, so language is going to be pick English. This is really just copying the book on Amazon over there that we want to put in. Okay, so let's just figure, out what we're going to do over here. Okay, Rex says first day of school. I do not have that. I do not have that. Pen name is going to be Bennett West. Okay, book description. So if you don't know what your book description is going to be, write and improve AI. So we're going to copy this prompt here, and then we're going to throw it in to AI and help us write our book description for us. Okay. That is the fun part about this. Okay, so it's going to help us write a book description that we could then take and put into here. Of course, we're going to check it and make sure it's all good. One of the things we want to also make sure that we have when it comes to the prompt, these M dashes. You see these long M dashes? There's a very, very big sign that it's AI. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to put it over here. We're going to go through every visual use of the one for a child, comma, and full color. don't even know it's supposed to be like that, but I'm so traumatized by all the M dashes. Like sometimes even like if you make a mistake, it's like, oh, that makes okay. See, so just M dashes. Okay, great. Awesome. So now we have our book description. I own my rights. Over here, does everybody gonna know? It does not. Reading age is baby to, 10 years old. Amazon. Okay, now let's create the categories for my ideas. So now we're gonna take this. Same thing. We're gonna put in here. It's gonna help us create the three categories. So in I accidentally shut it. So in Amazon, everybody's given three categories that you can associate your book with. This is going to be the categories that are going to help you get bestseller if you sell a certain amount of books in a certain amount of time. So what we want to try to do is we want to try to get specific the um, with the different categories that we have, so we can try to get into the bestseller. Of course, if you're picking a more general book, it's going to be a lot harder. Um, but if you can try to get down specific, that would be helpful. No, yes. Okay, and then keywords also. Keywords are the type of thing, are the words that somebody might check for your book. So you get 7 keywords and you can use those also. And that's more like when somebody goes into Amazon and searches a book, what's going to pop up. So you want to be able to have something like that as well. Okay. So I'm going to take that. And if you have any questions about anything, you just click on the eye and you can see what it is there. Okay. We're going to be doing paperback, get a free KDP ISBN. We're going to be premium color and white. Trim size is going to be 710. We're going to be pleating it. We're going to be doing glossy. I have the files. Yes, we used AI. Yeah, I think one of these is supposed to be with lots of, no, there is no translation. Okay. GPT. Okay, all territories. We'll do 999 to start. There's different strategies on, your pricing. I've seen books where they'll start at like $6.99, and then they'll go up after it sells a bunch to $8.99 and then $12.99, whatever it is, because once they start to sell, then they have the ability to really get to the place that they want. Okay, date yet, I'm not sure. And there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to save this as a PDF. And look at this. We have all our information that we can just take to KDP. So now let's head over to KDP and actually set up our book on Amazon itself. And we're going to take this information for that. I actually just might use this page because it seems a lot. It's right here anyway. Okay, so let's jump into Amazon. Okay, here we go. So we are on Amazon right now. Let's just move this tab over. Create new title or series. This is going to be a paperback book. Okay, and literally all we're going to be doing is filling out all this information. Okay, so we're going to just go to copy and paste everything. Okay, it's not a series editorial. Contributor, nope. Description. Let's grab the description. Control A. Let's just make sure the spacing and everything looks good. You were italicize that. Okay, I only copyright the book. Primary audience, no. Reading age is going to be baby. We'll do 10 years old. Choose the categories. Here we go. Okay, so let's figure out the categories that we had. First, books, children's book, growing up, and facts of life. Let's see what it says. Children's book, growing up, facts of life, subcategory. Let's keep going. Friendship, social skills, and school life. Subcategory is going to be school. Um, okay, it's going to be a fiction. All right, here we go. That's one. Next. Let's go. We're going to go to children's book, Growing Up and Facts of Life. So same type of children's book. This time we're going to be doing health. Is that what I wanted? Emotions and feelings. See if this is it. The safety, mindfulness, and meditation, general health. Um, cool. Emotions and feelings. Here we go. Right, that's the one I wanted. It was a little back and forth, but yeah. Okay, and this is going to be also with fiction. And we're going to add another one. I one time did this and it didn't save one of them, so just make sure you're on top of it. Children's book, animal and dinosaurs. Animals, dinosaurs, fiction. I think this would be so general. All right, let's check it out. Keywords. Literally everything we have here, right? Right, first day of school. So if somebody types in, oh, I want a book for first grade of school, there you go. Okay. Um, yeah, sure. We'll release it now. Let's get it out there. Okay, that's the first page. Now we're going to get to the fun part. Okay, look, we just got an ISBN. Woohoo. All right, here we go. This is going to be premium, premium trim size. 7 by 10. Here we go. We're gonna be pleed. It's gonna be glossy. Upload manuscript. Here we go. Full book pages. This is the fun part. This is where so many people get tripped up because it's gonna end up reading it. It's gonna put it in like a book format. We're gonna be able to see what it's gonna look like, and then it's also gonna tell us about the bleed situation. So we'll try it with bleed. If it's not helping us out, we're gonna do no bleed. But that's for sure not gonna work. And then we'll take it from there. Okay, over here it gives you an option to launch cover creator. Personally, never done it because I always just do it on AI, but it's probably just using its own AI. So let's upload a cover you already have. Okay, great. If your book has a barcode already, then click this so it doesn't add one on top of yours. Um, it usually also takes a second. One time I did it, I was trying like, where is it? And it wasn't working. All right, did we use AI? Yes, we did. Text. Um, when you say editing, does that mean entire work with minimal or no editing? Sometimes it did it. Uh, Here we go. So ChatGPT, images, many images. We did a bunch of editing. It's like we use ChatGPT for images. And translation, no, I don't think I have any translation. All right, here we go. So in order to move to the next step, you need to launch the previewer, and that's going to consolidate your book. It's going to show it to us, make sure the bleed situation is all right. And then once you do that, then we can move on to how much we're going to pay, how much is it, how much can we charge for it, and all that fun stuff. And you can, then get it uploaded over there. It usually takes 72 hours once it gets approved in order for the book to be live. Also, if you want to get an author's copy, that's going to be on this page once this gets approved. And then we want to make sure that we are doing all the things that we can. I do see over here trim size is 6 by 9. Let me just cancel this. I noticed this. That is incorrect. It should be trim size over here 7 by 10. Uh, Weird. I don't know. Maybe that's a bleed thing. But okay, let's see what happens over here. It has also happened to me where sometimes my book will get approved on this page, and then I'll order a copy, and then I'll get an email like 2, 3 days later saying, "Hey, your bleed's messed up," and then it'll take you back to the book. So there is this initial check we have right now, um, but I would say until you get that final approval from Amazon in that email, that is what we're looking for. So right now, we want to be able to see as much as we can. We're going to check it out, and from there, we're going to see what needs to be edited or not. No way, this is amazing. Okay. So you can see my name is like really close to the bottom here. It's technically good because it's not on the white line or past the white line. Um, but that's that. Okay. Yeah, you open the book. That's Rick's first day. Copyright for Groovin. Awesome. I'm curious to see over here at first. Is that going to be okay or not? And it could be some of the big pictures that has books it is, and some of them it's not. But that could be one of those things that we get called back from, but we will see. All right. The images, I don't mind if they get cut off a little bit, like the feathers and stuff, or even Teddy over here, because, okay, they're not necessarily all supposed to be in it. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm just making sure the book is doing all over here. Remember. Okay, amazing. Let's approve this. Great. We're going to request a proof. So because we're doing a high quality colored book, the printing cost is going to be $468. So let's request a proof. You go through the process over here to submit a proof, and then you're going to get an email saying, "Hey, you requested a proof," and it's going to want you to take it to your Amazon account. So you have to wait like 2, 3 hours, and then you could order the proof over there. I'm just going to jump in here a little quickly. This is the email you're going to get when your proof is ready. Your proof order for X's first day of school is ready for checkout. All you got to do is click on the proceed to checkout, and it's going to take you to your Amazon account, and you're going to purchase it over there. Right now, back to the video. So now let's go to the next stage. Sign in with a code. Okay, now we are into the fun part. Okay, all territories. All right, this is how much we are going to be selling our book for. So now that our book is going to be costing us $468, so there's different prices that's going on over here. Okay, so you have the printing cost, which is the flat fee, and then every time you sell a book,
Amazon makes a certain percentage. If your book is less than 9.99, they make more of a percentage. If it's over 9.99, they're gonna make less a percentage. So for example, if I put my book at 7.99, okay. Oh, it's telling me it must be probably because it's a more expensive book. Let's say it's a 9.36. What's gonna be? Okay. Um, okay, there you go. That's how much it would be. Okay, but let's say we want to do this for 12.99. It's a really good book. Really good book. Okay, and then it's gonna auto-populate all the other different parts of it. And this video is your book will be available for purchase at the marketplace at a public calculate to multiply your list price by the royalty rate. Okay, so we'll be making $3.11 per book that's sold. Okay, you're like, wait, why am I only making $3.11? But if you think about it, Amazon is going to be the one marketing your book because it's on their website. Okay, so we just have to consider that when it comes to that. Okay, we have to go to the terms and conditions. I won't touch anything else in the other areas. I don't think it's necessary, but if you want to, you can do that. And then we press publish your paperback book. Okay, great. And now we are Rex first day of school. Here we go. This is all going to be all the different stuff that we're doing. Um, and yeah, we're just going to wait. We're going to wait for an email and we're going to get back to it.
So if you ever published a book on Amazon, you might have gotten this email a day or two after you published it. And this is the attention needed. This means there's something wrong with your book. And we're going to go through this step-by-step process on how to figure out what it is that you can do in order to make sure that this does not happen again the next time you look to fix it. So it seems like there's some issues with the formatting. So let's jump into it. All you got to do is click on this link, and then it's going to take you right to your book and tell you the issues on the left-hand side that we are going to be there. All right, so let me just move this to a new tab. So it seems like if you look at the errors on the left-hand side, the text on your book cover is too close to the edges, which just means my name on the bottom over here, which I figured might be an issue, as well as I think it might pick up this um, over here. So the apostrophe S. So let's just move the apostrophe down as well as try to raise my name. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to ChatGPT where we created the images, and we're going to just create a prompt in order to allow it to fix the text. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people decide to use Canva or something else to create just the text on the cover or whatnot, just because a lot of times you have more control over it. Instead of hoping that ChatGPT or AI fixes your issue, it will you can just have more control over it. So there's just one other reason. The reason why I like using AI is because I find that the text that it creates is going to be nicer than mine, even if AI walks me through the different steps. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. This is the actual picture, and we're going to say, hi, can you please create a prompt for me? The cover page of my book has an issue when I uploaded it onto KDP. The apostrophe S on the top is too high up and is touching the border where it's not supposed to be, as well as my name on the bottom is too low down and it is in the error zone on KDP. Can you help me create a prompt that I can use where I will upload my picture, and then if you can ask it to shift it, that would be great. And one of the tricks that I like using is I like asking AI to create the prompt, because AI is going to add a bunch of different things you're going to see that is going to help me edit it the appropriate way, as opposed to going back and forth. I could probably just say, hey, can you edit the text, raise my name, and then lower the text on top. But a lot of times it's just going to cause like a lot of issues. So what I try doing is I try saying, hey, can you create the prompt for me? And then it uses the full prompt. It understands what it is that I'm actually trying to do. Okay. So let's see what we got over here. All right, shift cover text from Amazon KDB safe area. This is not a redesign, right? So like this stuff, do not change all this stuff. Like I wanted to like notice all of that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and then go move it over here. And then I'm going to go to the picture of the cover. I'm going to upload it to my chat, and then I'm going to send it in. And now let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, what I might end up doing is I might actually ask it to delete the text, and then I will go through Canva and add it through Canva over there just because it might be a little bit easier to do. Okay. And this is just one of the issues. We're going to go through all the issues on the print preview. Okay, so chat is saying it wants me to use a different prompt. This is one of the annoying things about chat. It like always gives you a better reason and a better reason. It's like, why don't you just give me this um, a little bit more? So we'll see. But okay, so we're having an issue with ChatGPT. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start a new chat, and it should be fine because I'm taking the prompt. So we'll see if it picks it up. I'm wondering if my conversation with chat is way too long that it's just like it's burnt out. So we're going to start a new chat and see how this works. It could also be my internet. So we're going to play around with it. Oh, there we go. So it might have been that. So just understand, I guess, if you are trying to create an image, it might be that might be the issue. Yeah. It might be better. Let's check it out. I'm gonna download it and go back to our, I think we have it here, cover, and we will take this one out. If you don't know what I'm talking about over here, feel free to watch earlier in the video where we spoke about this. What we're gonna do, let's fade this a little bit, transparency. So it's still on the red, which we don't want. So we're gonna wanna, it doesn't look like this was moved either. It is not listening to what we want. You see it's still on the red? So that's the issue over there. Okay. Um, we're just gonna remove the text and we're gonna do it the old fashioned way. Please walk me through the process of creating the text we just removed on Canva. So the same font, the colors, everything that we need to do step by step, please. Okay, so we're gonna take this, we're gonna take this picture, download it. There we go. Literally, it's gonna talk us through. Okay, so let's go back to Canva. We're gonna remove this picture. We are going to take the new one. Okay, we are gonna fade it a little bit just in the beginning, just so I could see the red lines so I know where things are. Just take a text box. To the right Rexes. And then what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna want to let Lolita. Oops, we go here. Lolita. Lolita one. Okay, that looks pretty similar. And then we're gonna go to uh, choose a bright red. So we're gonna take this one. Go to the color section. I'm gonna paste that in here. Choose that. Great. Next, add the white outline. Next, go to splice. All right. Now adjust the thickness around 12 to 8. So effects of splice. So go to effects, the splice. The color should be white. And the, so there's something thickness around 12, 12 to 18. The color should be, no, it should be the original red we had. Okay. So let's do shadow. Is, here we go. Scroll down. What does it say? Shadow. Yeah, I don't see shadow. Um, look one more time. Effects. Let's make this bigger so we can just see looking at. Something's off there. I'll have we want to be there. Direction we'll keep there. Yeah, like thicker, like that. X looks a little interesting. I don't like the letter of this X. No, don't like that text either. Fredoka. Okay. I don't know why the X's are looking weird. Anybody else with me? Typed in one. Okay, I think this one looks the best, but still not great. No, like that. It's not bad. E looks weird, but why can't there just be a normal font? Okay. Like this. Highlights. All right, there we go. So we have the title on top. Now we're just going to work on my name on the bottom. All right, all right. Now let's look at the text. So we're going to create another text and write it by Bennett Schwartz. There. I actually didn't like the blue necessarily from before. Let's see what we got. Nunito extra bold. Oh, no, we're here. Don't like that. Yeah, that makes it a little bigger. Want it to be royal blue. I think I want it to be a little. It's going to be this color. What we're going to do is give it a bit of an effect. Just the white here and change this color. The color pops. With the font over here. Some on his blue shoe over here. Just looks weird. Let's get this guy centered. So let's find the right spot for him. Let's go a little lower. I think it's hiding. Just ask it.
The blue is not coming up nicely on the bottom. What's a nicer color or different way that we can make it pop more for the author's name? Not bad. Bad West, by the way. Bad either. Is there right or wrong? I don't know. I think that color doesn't go with the theme. All right, we'll match the blue with there. Nice. Great. Just confirm one more time that it's not on any of the red. We're good there. We're good there. And that should have been the issue. All right, so now let's just download this. PDF print, flatten PDF. We're gonna do. You know, we should do also, we should take this. Like everything. Here we go. Cover. All right, now let's go back to the rest of the book and see what issues we have. Increase your outside margin so that the content is trimmed when your book is printed. The outside top bottom margin requires a 2.5 for books without bleed. With these examples on page PDF pages 10 and 42. Okay, increase your inside margin so that content isn't obscured when the book is bound. Okay, so we have two different issues over here. Let's go to 10 first. Page 10. I'm assuming it's something with the text over here. Increase your outside margin so the content isn't trimmed when the book is printed. Okay. I have a picture that right now is being cut off by KDP. I want to keep everything the same. I just want to move everything from the picture in a little bit and then use the background color and extend that so all of the items in the picture are okay. What I want to actually see for a second, we go back to our book. Let's go to page 10. Let's see if we can do this. If I can, page 10 here, do some tricks right now. A trick that somebody can do. It's like putting a border on it, but I wanted to match this color. Ooh, look at that. The darker color though. It looks a little, you know what we could do? Let's go up here, it's a little darker. Am I gonna have to do that to all the pages? That's the question. I didn't want to. Should I add a border? And honestly, that might help with, let's check out 8 and 10. Yeah. Okay, I think that's what we're gonna have to do. Okay, so if you see what's going on over here, the text is outside of things are popping out of the margins, which is the gray, and KDP is having an issue with that. Why is it only on the left-hand side and not on the right-hand side? It's a great question. Maybe because it's text more. Um, I think it thinks this is more important than the other stuff. Let's check out page 20. Yeah, the dots over here, like there's a lot of stuff over there. 18, it doesn't say, that's fine. But just because it, okay, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that color border. Yep, here we go. I'm gonna put this border around all these text pages. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna copy this guy because this is a good color to have. Oh, okay, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna shrink all of these text pages. This is the fun part. Ooh, this one doesn't look so good. Um, yeah, it doesn't look so good on this one. Right, we're gonna have to go through each single one. All right, we gotta do what we gotta do. So pretty much what I did is I ended up adding a border to all of the different boxes. And what I did was when I picked the color over here, I went to the deepest corner because that's usually the darkest and that makes it look the best in terms of like the transition. So that's what I did over there. This one actually doesn't look so great. Alrighty, here we go. Okay, so now we should be good to go. Let me just go back to here. And the other issues, no. Okay, so there's margin issues over here, outside margin issues over here, cover text over there. Okay, so we fixed everything. So now what we want to do is we want to download this. Um, Download. I'm going to go to PDF print, flatten. Now we want to download it all as one. What we're going to do is we're actually going to build book. We're going to put this in and change this to one, two. Do all images. Put that there. We call it downloads. Okay, put that here. And then we're going to say, what should we call it? Go exit print view. Okay, so this is what we're gonna go back to the print view over here where we see all the errors. We're gonna go exit print view. And then what's gonna do is gonna take us back to the second tab on our book creation, and then we have to update the information. Okay, we'll call this final manuscript. Okay, so this is the manuscript, the final manuscript. Make sure it's the right one. You have the borders. Open this, download it. Okay, so we just uploaded it. Internet took a bit, so we went through it process. But now everything's uploaded. And then before you have to do that, you actually have to click the AI thing again. So AI generated content just asks you to click this. Then you have to do launch preview. You have to check it again, get approved, and then move it through. Alrighty, you're looking good. Text is out of there. Yeah, okay. Let's approve it. And then we are actually going to request proof again, which we're going to get that email again. Submit proof request. So I'll get an email shortly. And then save and continue. Okay. Everything should usually save. Publish your paperback book. And then we're going through the same process. It's going to read all the information. It's going to let me know if it's good or not. And then once it's good, you should be good to go. Alrighty, everybody. This is so exciting. This is what we have been waiting for. As you can see, I got the email. Your paperback book has been published. So let's go take a look at Amazon. All right, here we go. Let's go search for it. Amazon.com. And we're going to do Rex's first day of school. Let's check it out. Let's scroll. Ah, there we go. I'm in your way. Ah, here we go. We have it. Rex's first day of school. And there it is in the live, in the flesh. Isn't that awesome? All right, guys. So this is the story. If you want to get your book on Amazon, like I did with this book, definitely check out the community down below. I literally gave you step by step
process. You don't even need to join the community technically. You just have to watch this video and do what you need to do. If you do have hiccups, if you do have questions, feel free to join if you want to have that accountability. We are there for you to help support you. So make sure to jump in there, take a look, and just see how amazing it is and all the books that people are creating. But this is literally it. We are on. We are on. This is amazing. All right. Also, if you want to buy this book, feel free to buy it if you have anybody who is looking to start their first day of school. Alrighty. We'll see everybody in the next video. And let me know if you have any questions down in the comments down below. Alrighty, the moment of truth. It has come. The book has arrived. Let's open it up. Now let's check it out. Okay, okay. Here we go. Rex's first day of school. Bigger than I thought. The color is an interesting color on front. I wonder if we switch it. Um, the pages are big. The pages are massive, actually. Like imagine my head. I have a pretty big head. Like it's as big as my head. Um, okay, the colors are coming out interesting, I would say. That is what I'm saying. That's what I'm learning so far. But I'm happy the colors go all the way to the edges. One of the things I really liked is the pictures go all the way around to the edges. The text not as much, and that's why I was okay with the border. But at the end of the day, the pictures are great. They're really detailed, which is awesome. Um, this is great. My son's gonna love it. I can't wait to show him. All right, so if you want to create your own book, definitely follow along, and you got this. And of course, if you want to join the community, feel free to do so.